We've covered so much territory here, and our human brains can only remember one or two or three things max at a time. If you had one takeaway that you wanted the audience or other CX leaders here to take away from our conversation today, what would that one takeaway be?
That's a big ask, Steve. Maybe it's just because it's what's fresh in my mind. Like right now, I spent a good amount of time talking about that core values thing. But I really ultimately, I think that it's not just this book I just read. Like you said, there's a lot of talk around it on the LinkedIn world and out in the business world about culture fit. Mark Cuban has talked about it and recently a lot, and other well-respected business leaders talk about how important culture fit is when you're hiring. Of course, depending on the position, skill set is important, but also even then, like Mark Cuban, I think is the one that made this. You can teach skills, you can teach the ability to do stuff, but you can't teach a culture fit. You can't put a round peg in a square hole, to use an old tired cliche. So I think that almost needs to be at the very top of the priority list in terms of when you're looking for a partner. Is culture and core values fit? Is that there? Because at the end of the day, there are multiple BPO partners out there. There's a lot of partners you can find, and there's lots of very high quality partners out there. So you're going to find one that has a culture fit. You're going to be able to find one that also has the skill set and is able to deliver for you. But I would just say you can't force culture. You can't force that core values fit. So I would really, again, maybe it's just because that's what's fresh on my mind right now. And that's a lot of what's been on what I've been thinking about. So that's influencing my answer to your question. But I do believe that is just something that you really have to, you can't, even if it's not the most important thing to you, you definitely can't ignore it. It has to be part of your process.